I'm an expat American living overseas. I've been living overseas since 2019. I spent some time in South Korea, and now I'm in China. I've been in China for almost 7 months now, barely over 6 months, and today I'm going to make a video explaining why I don't want to return home anytime soon. I will forever be an American. I will always be an American. I will always visit my homeland. I've been home 2 times since I left. I went home in 2022, and I went home earlier this year for almost 3 months. When I went home in 2022, I was positive I wanted to return home. I was in love. I was like really happy just being back in my homeland. Everything made me happy. But when I went home earlier this year, there are some things that made me more open-minded. It made me realize, okay, maybe this place isn't the best place. While I was in Korea, several Koreans and several foreigners that were in Korea said that they wanted to go to America. Like the American dream says, you go to America, you have a better life. You have better opportunity. So many people, Koreans and foreigners, have dreams of going to America. While it is true that many people over the years, over the decades, have immigrated to America and have built successful lives and opportunities for themselves and those they love, the reality is that for several people, including myself, America is not the place of opportunity. So here are 13 reasons as to why I believe I should stay overseas for a while, perhaps permanently. No one knows the future. I'm not going to pretend to know the future. I have a family now. I have a child. So if I have to go back eventually, and if that is what's best for my family, of course I will do it. Because once you become a parent, your priorities change. You gotta do what's best for your family. But for now, I want to stay abroad. And I will give you 13 reasons as to why that's the case. So now let's go to reason number 1. The first reason I want to stay abroad is because I am just tired of processed food everywhere in America. When you go to the supermarket, when you go buy food anywhere you want, the food is so toxic. Now, when I went home earlier this year, I started becoming more open-minded to this. The food is so terrible for you. They got so many chemicals in there, even petroleum, all these chemicals, and it's so corrupt. The same foods like McDonald's are in other countries like Europe. McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, all these foods are all over the world, these businesses. But in other countries, the processed foods are not as extreme. They're heavily regulated. There are strict rules on the food's ingredients overseas. But in America, the companies don't care, just poison the population. When I was home earlier this year staying with my father, I'm just really tired of whenever I go to the supermarket, I'm worried about what I eat, what I buy. Everything is poisonous. Yes, there are farmers markets, but we can't even trust the supermarkets. And the United States government, I believe it's a big business. The United States is a big business. They want to make money. And hey, if you keep the population sick, there's profit. Here in China and in Korea, there's not processed food everywhere. I mean, I don't have to go to the grocery store and worry about what I'm putting into my body. I don't have to worry about my son, my wife. We don't have to worry about what we eat. It's healthy. If we eat McDonald's once in a while, we know it's not as terrible for you. So I like the freedom of knowing that what I'm eating, I don't have to always worry every time I buy food and eat food. And I've been to many countries. And, I've been to about 11 countries in my life. While I've been abroad, I've been to Malaysia, I've been to Japan, I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Korea, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Kazakhstan, I've been to Georgia, now I'm in China. And all these countries, the populations are very healthy, extremely healthy, okay? The food is healthy. But in my country, I was shocked when I went home earlier this year, seeing that there's so many people who are fat, so many people who are obese, okay? Like, there's a lot of them. Now, there's fat people everywhere in the world, But in my homeland, there's too many of them. And I believe the processed food, all these foods in my country play a big part in that. Keep the population sick, you make money, you get the point. So I'm tired of processed food being everywhere. I'm tired of being worried about what I eat, what I buy. Here in China and other places, I don't have that fear. So it's nice to know what I eat. I don't have to worry. The second reason I want to stay abroad for now is that I'm really tired of these corrupt politicians and their fear-mongering, their divisive rhetoric, how they are always trying to turn Americans against one each other and make us enemies. I don't consider myself a Republican. I don't have allegiance to any party, but I would say I'm a conservative. If you're a conservative, welcome to the team. If you're not, I don't see you as an enemy. I might disagree with you. We might not agree on everything, and that's okay. But the media and politicians like to label certain groups of people as enemies, as white supremacists, as racists, and they don't label the other side like that too. I'm trying to get too political, but I feel like my country is very divided, and I'm tired of it. It's not the American way. I remember on September 11th, 2001, when I was a child, I was 10 years old. And I remember all the American flags all over the place. I remember everyone was divided. We were all Americans. And all of a sudden, just because we disagree, we have to hate each other. I'm tired of groups like Black Lives Matter destroying cities. I'm tired of the racism agenda being pushed by the media. I'm tired of just these harmful narratives. In reality, when you go outside in the United States, most people do not hate each other. Most people are not hateful. So I just think the media and these corrupt politicians just pushing divisive rhetoric, it just makes an extremely divided, just tense environment. Now, I don't know how you feel about China. I know in the West, China is portrayed in a very negative way. But whether you like China or not, the Chinese government is just one party. And I would like to think most Chinese are united. They're all one. They're one. Okay? The Chinese flag represents unity. And my flag represents unity too. But in reality, we're not divided. And these politicians and the media plays a big part in that on both sides. And I just wish it would stop. I wish people in my country and media and politicians would encourage disagreeing in a very respectful way. That's how we grow as people. So anyway, that is reason number 2. Just tired of the divide. Reason number 3 also plays into this. Reason number 3 is I just think the two-party system is a psyop. It's a big psyop. When in all actuality, the majority of politicians, the vast majority of them on both sides, are corrupt. They both push for war all the time. They both don't care about Americans. They both care more about their own interests on foreign affairs. They don't care. So that's why I just think the two-party system is a big psyop, and I'll leave it at that. I'm as I've lived overseas, I try to be more open-minded, and I just think there needs to be change. It's probably not going to happen, but that's just my opinion. Reason number 4 is I'm just tired of school shootings, and I'm tired of mass shootings. I'm a teacher, okay? And I don't think school should be a place where it should be a war zone. Far too often, every year, several times a year, we get tragic news of school shootings. In different parts of the country, especially in certain areas, there are constant shootings. There are mass shootings. And I'm tired of it, okay? Now, I'm overseas, and mass shootings happen in some places, unfortunately. Mass stabbings happen in some places. But it's not at the frequency of the United States. I'm all for the Second Amendment, but I'm just tired of the consequences of these not being enough. I believe in other countries like here in China, my wife's country in Russia, if you do something terrible like that, you'd be severely punished. But in my country, you're just told that, oh, you're insane, you're mentally ill. And although that might be true, these people know they're doing something wrong and they should be punished. So the justice system is not that good. And these things keep happening. So there's no accountability. And I also think there's too many mass shootings. I hear too many stories of kids playing in the park, too many stories of people just doing their daily life things, going grocery shopping, going shopping at the mall, going to a concert, and there are mass shootings too often. In Korea, it is very safe. Yes, things happened while I was there, but in general, it's very safe. And in China, it is super safe. Okay, in China, you can't enter the subway. You can't enter certain places without getting your bags checked. For many Americans, they won't like that. They like their freedom. But what is wrong with doing that? Don't you want it to be more safe? Don't you want your children to be more safe? And I can guarantee you, here in China, you'd be severely punished if you did that. Even in Korea, you'd be severely punished. There would not be this slap on the wrist. So there's too many shootings, there's too much crime. I could walk alone at night in China and in Korea, and it's completely safe. Women can do the same thing most of the time. Majority of the time, it's safe. And it's just safer. I don't like the idea of always having to watch my back. So that is reason number 4. Reason number 5 is I just feel like traditional values are being rejected and being abandoned. Yes, there's many people in my country who still believe in traditional values. But in general, these values are under attack. The rise of feminism and where it's at right now is a very toxic thing. Okay, you got several women on TikTok and on these apps, social media, talking badly about men. You got many influencers talking bad about men. You got many people like Taylor Swift in the Barbie movie saying, screw the patriarchy. Okay, so traditional values under attack. If a woman wants to stay at home, like my wife wants to be a stay-at-home mother at this time. If she were to say that to people in the United States, many women would scold her for that. The concept of a man and a woman, it's kind of embarrassing that this is even an issue. In several countries around the world, traditional countries, non-Western countries, it is agreed upon that there is one man and one woman. Those are the two genders. But in Western countries, there is this weird obsession with gender, that you could have thousands of genders. This pronoun thing. When I was growing up, that was considered bad grammar. But all of a sudden, I am them, I am she, I am he, they. And all these things are being pushed by teachers in the United States, in the public school system. And they're indoctrinating children. If I was teaching in the United States, I would get fired. I would not do those things. If I was asked to do that, I would reject it, and I'd be willing to lose my job for it. I just think traditional values are under attack, and it's not good. Here in China and in Korea and in other parts of the world, traditional values are still highly valued. They're respected. Men and women have their roles. Even my wife's country, Russia, it's very refreshing. So although in many places in the U.S., people still have these values are under attack. And the worst part is these celebrities and these politicians are pushing these ideas, indoctrinating and trying to mess with the minds of the future, the next generation. Reason number 6 is because of all the woke propaganda from the alphabet community. I'm trying to watch what I say on YouTube, but you probably know what I'm talking about for most people. I may not agree with certain things when it comes to what people decide to do with their lives, but I'm all for doing what you want to do with your life. However, when you're pushing it on people, pushing these ideas on people, especially children, that's when I think you've crossed the line. Too many of these people from this group have been doing their little things in public with children present, being half naked, almost completely naked in crowds with kids watching, having people in drag, exposing themselves to children, drag story time in schools. If that's what you want to do with your life, you do that. But why do you have to push it on the children? Why are these ideas being pushed in children's entertainment, in the movies, and on TV commercials? I don't understand that. If this is what you like, you do it. But I'm just tired of this push for all these things on children, innocent children. Even if you believe in these things, I don't see how anyone can push these things on innocent children. In Thailand, there are many transgender people. They're known as ladyboys, okay? And in Thailand, these people are minding their own business, living their own lives, not trying to get attention. I don't know why in Western countries they can't live this way. Why does it have to be pushing everybody? I don't get it. Equality, the concept of equality has become, I demand you to accept it. If you don't accept it, you are a bigot, you are a hateful person. I'm just tired of this rhetoric. Reason number 7 is the cost of living. Inflation is out of control right now. When I was living in the United States, I was not able to get my own apartment. I had to constantly get roommates. I was struggling. I even had to donate plasma just to pay my bills, just to pay the insurance bill, just to pay the phone bill. Too many people in the West are having issues with inflation and having to go into credit card debt just to feed their families, just to survive. Home ownership is out of control. If you know about BlackRock, they are buying up the homes. The mortgage rates are too high, and it's almost impossible for many people to own a home now. Here in China, it's very cheap. You can pay $1,500 just as a deposit. It includes your first month's rent. You can even pay $10,000 up front if you live in a bigger city. But in America, you gotta pay all this money up front, and it's too expensive. Oh, hello. Hey. Yeah, this kid always says hello to me, but you get what I'm saying. Hey. Hello. But you get what I'm saying. It's just too expensive for most people. And for some people, going overseas gives more opportunity when it comes to apartments, owning a home, buying property. So in the West, inflation is too out of control, and I personally know people who've taken out a second mortgage just to be able to pay the bills. It's not right. So you're conditioned to be poor. But this doesn't happen where I live and in other places. Reason number 8 is because of public transportation and infrastructure. Now, I've never been to New York City, but I know they have a subway system, but I know it's very unsafe. In the United States, you essentially have to have a car to have a good quality of life. As in Korea, in China, even in Japan, you don't need a car. Now, obviously, if you have a lot of children, you need one, and if you want and you can afford that nice lifestyle, feel free to buy yourself a nice car. But the point I'm making is that you don't have to have a car just to have a good quality of life, just to make it. Public transportation in China, Japan, and Korea, and other parts of the world is very great, and you don't need a car. Subway systems are great, bus systems are great, infrastructure is great, but in America, we're very far behind when it comes to infrastructure. I wish the United States had good public transportation, which I think it's lacking in. And the public transportation is very often unsafe, does not feel safe, and I will not be comfortable using it. As an expat, the lifestyle I've been living the past over 5 years, the nice thing about not having a car is that I can do a lot of walking. So it's good for exercise as well. Reason number 9 is that healthcare is just way too expensive. When I was back in the United States, I was afraid to call the ambulance. I was afraid to go to the hospital because I couldn't afford it. And I know that's the case for many people. In Korea, healthcare is affordable, and even here in China, healthcare is very affordable. If I need to go to the dentist, if I need to go to the doctor, I can afford it, and most people can. The system is made for people. Hospitals in China are called people's hospitals. So I think everyone should have access to affordable healthcare. And in the United States, people go into debt. People can't afford their hospital bills. Why is that the case? Why is it the case in China, I only pay a little over $1,100 to have a baby? Why is it the case that if I want my wisdom tooth removed, it only costs a little less than $80? Why is it the case if I go to the hospital, it's very affordable, but in America, why is it so darn expensive? Why is healthcare so unaffordable? I don't get it. It's another reason. Reason number 10 is that I have more opportunity abroad at this time. I used to be ashamed of this. I used to be embarrassed about this. Oh, hi.
Hello. That's crazy. You speak English too?
I speak English. Oh, hi.
Yeah, thanks. Hi.
Hey.
Oh my God,
Yeah. Huh?
you YouTuber?
I'm trying to be a YouTuber.
Oh, that's awesome.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Yes, that's what happens when you're a foreigner. Sometimes people notice you. Anyway, I have more opportunity abroad. I used to be embarrassed about this, but what's wrong with that? Why is it the case that if people immigrate to the United States or other Western countries, it's applauded? But if you're an American or a Westerner and you immigrate to other countries, you are a loser. You are just something negative. But you don't pay my bills. I do what's best for me. And I'm thankful for the decision I made to go overseas. Almost 6 years ago, I was deciding between being a flight attendant or going abroad because I was out of college for almost 5 years. It was going nowhere, like most people, like many people with bachelor's degrees. So I have more opportunity. I'm making a salary I'm satisfied with. I can save a lot of money as an English teacher. And most importantly, I'm taking care of my family right now. I'm providing for them. So I have more opportunity, not just for myself, but for my family. And so if you are in your country and you feel that you need to be an expat somewhere, you feel like there's opportunity, don't be ashamed of that. And if people criticize you, that's their problem. The reality of the United States is that the American dream, in my opinion, is if you're rich, if you are a rich person, you can have a good life to worldly standards. Hello. But someone like myself, I'm not like Elon Musk. Hi. Hey. Yes. I'm not super wealthy, but I'm making it. And you could be in other parts of the world and not be super wealthy, but you could still be rich, if you get what I'm saying. So don't be afraid to go abroad, even if people are against it. In my time overseas, I've also obtained a master's degree in teaching, with teaching as a second language, and I would like to get a teaching license sometime later. The point I'm making is that sometimes, wherever you're from, sometimes you have more opportunity by immigrating. So I don't think America gives me that opportunity right now. Reason number 11 is that I'm just grateful for the easy opportunities I have for traveling to other countries. Now, before I was an expat, I've been to Puerto Rico, I've been to places like Barbados, I've been to places like Antigua, just island nations mostly. But when I went to become an expat, that's when I really started having opportunities to see the world, see other cultures, see other ways of life. And I think not enough Americans are open-minded. A lot of Americans are in their bubble that America is the only place where you can be happy, where you can have a good life, and they just haven't seen much. And they see everything through the lens of their opinion. They've not been to these places. So I like the opportunity to go to other countries, learn about other cultures, visit other cultures, eat different kinds of food. And it's just good for your mental health, in my opinion. It's good for your mind. And I've learned a lot from traveling. And by the way, I enjoy it a lot. Now that I have a kid, it might not be as easy to do that, but I want to continue doing it. And I want to teach my son the value of traveling. So I have easy access to traveling. I go to many Asian countries, and I could go to European countries if I wanted to. Just got to save some money for a few months. But you get what I'm saying. More opportunity for traveling. Reason number 12 is that my wife's family is just not too far away. My in-laws, my mother and father-in-law, are going to be staying with my wife and I for 4 months because we just had a baby less than a week ago. And they want to stay just to have that village lifestyle, help us out a little bit with, basic things with raising a child. But the point I'm making is, if I was in the United States right now, I don't think they'd be able to do that. It's too far away. Now, I'm not really close to my family, to be honest with you. I have a relation with my dad. My grandparents are all gone. My mom's no longer living. So I just have my father. My father watches my videos, so shout out to you. But I just really enjoy the family support I get from my in-laws. I mean, I'm very blessed and thankful that all of our families accepted me. Everyone has accepted me, despite the language barrier, despite some cultural misunderstandings from time to time. They accept me. And Russia is not too far away from China. So if I want to go to Russia, which I plan on doing next year, you can go there. It's not that far. If they want to visit, they can visit. If we want to meet somewhere else like Thailand or Mongolia, you get the point. I'm close to my in-laws. My wife is very close to her family as well. And I want her to be close to her family. My son and future children that I want them to have that family support. And although I love my dad, and although he is great, he's far. And you get what I'm saying. So I like the family support, and I want to stay near my family. Reason number 13, and the final reason, is I'm tired of the World Economic Forum, the WEF. The World Economic Forum is an organization, a bunch of Rich people like Klaus Schwab, Bill Gates, George Soros, all these rich people who want to control us. They talk about the Great Reset. Look it up. Agenda 2030. We will own nothing and be happy. And they want us to be enslaved. And essentially, Western countries are under their control the most, in my opinion. Klaus Schwab brags about penetrating the cabinets of other governments and making them his puppets, these politicians his puppets. And in Western countries like my country, the current administration, and even people in Congress, Republicans, Democrats, in Canada, in France, all these European countries, the Netherlands, even in the UK, you get what I'm saying. A lot of the policies that World Economic Forum wants to create are very much being implemented the most in Western countries, especially with illegal immigration. So there's a lot they do, but I just like being away from the World Economic Forum as much as I can. Now, I know a lot of Western people hate China, and you know, me and a couple other expat friends of mine would tell you you're a little brainwashed. Visit here and see. Yes? Maybe things are different here, but you get what I'm saying. I want to be away from the World Economic Forum. And as of now, I feel like the United States is in bed with the World Economic Forum, in bed with Bill Gates. Bill Gates buying up a lot of the farmland, trying to poison our food. So I want to get away from that as much as I can. So anyway, there you go. That is reason number 13 and the final reason. I would like to thank you for watching this video. As you know, I like living abroad, so you'll get more videos from me. Please subscribe to my channel, helps me a lot. I will see you next time, and thank you for watching.